What's up, everyone? It's your man LS Villafane. I am back from the dead. In the time I was gone, some Indian channel stole my name and they have like 200,000 subscribers now. Come on, India. Anyway, we're going to be talking about Saw X just a little bit. You gotta love it. Here he is. He's back. It's Jigsaw. This dude has had cancer for like 12 years and he's still going strong. Just kidding. He died and he came back to life in this movie because why the fuck not? You can't have a Saw movie without Jigsaw. He's like the Darth Vader of the Saw universe. It's just not the same when he's not there. So what do? They keep bringing him back from the dead, just how they do for Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader in any Star Wars related movie, television show that's currently coming out. Anyway, he's alive. So is Amanda. Because why not? And this time, they're in Mexico, just like in Terminator Dark Fate. You ever notice how all these reboots are happening in Mexico for some reason? It's almost like it's cheaper to film there or something. And yes, they did do the yellow filter. Shame on them. I thought that we were beyond this by now. I cannot believe that they did the yellow filter in a movie in 2023, and it was so obviously a yellow filter for the plane scene. I can't believe it. Anyway, I actually like this film because they made Jigsaw kind of into a good guy. And before you say, how could you say that? I mean, I like it. I like how they made him into a character that you can genuinely sympathize with, because eventually, like in Saw 1 and 2, like you can kind of like get behind his motivations, but I think that like by the time we got to Saw 4, like the whole premise of the trap was like, oh, here's this one really good cop and we're gonna punish this cop because he's too eager to save people. And it gets to a point where it's like, come on, Jigsaw, like this philosophy is just ridiculous at this point. However, in this movie, like he gets like conned by a bunch of Mexicans that are like really, really screwing over people with cancer. They're pretending that they're doing surgery on them, saving them from cancer when they're really not. The whole thing was just a big con artist, Ponzi scheme type of thing. And it really makes you sympathize with Jigsaw, and it even makes it better when the victims are being tortured. Because like there are some Saw movies where it's like, ugh, I really don't want to see this person suffering right now. But this was one of the very few Saw movies where it's like, yeah, I want to see these guys die because these guys, they fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So it was really good how they took this antagonist and made him into a character that you could genuinely sympathize. Not only someone that you want to sympathize, but someone who you want to see them win. You want to see them kill these guys. You want to see him take all the money. You want to see him win like John Wick style. That's kind of what they did. I also like how they kind of eliminated the Jigsaw aspect. It was just simply John Kramer torturing people the same way he did to the person who gave his wife a miscarriage by accident. I like that because it makes it personal. You know, this isn't some clown behind a mask. You know, you're fucking with John Kramer. I'm trying to get my cancer fixed. You didn't fuck with Jigsaw. You fucked with John Kramer, and this is what you get. Also, I love the engineering traps that they go through in this movie. I mean, it was so crazy, some of the traps. Like, the dude's in, like, this crazy-ass coffin, and he's got to do brain surgery on himself while looking through a monitor. Like, that was crazy. And I love how they keep one-upping the feats of engineering. And I'm really curious to see how the original director, James Wan, would react to that. Because if you notice, the spec that James Wan originally directed, it had nothing to do with engineering. And I think it's funny because like that's like the whole point of like John Kramer's character now. But like the original Saw was just two dudes chained to a pipe with a saw. That's why the entire franchise is called Saw. And it's like ever since Saw 2, it's like these crazy mechanical engineering stuff. So I'm really curious, like what does James Wan have to say about this? The only thing that I didn't like about this film was the evil bad genius woman that was behind all of it. Eventually, it got to a point where like there was this like kind of like semi-innocent girl, Gabrielle, where like we were kind of like or I forget if her name was Gabriella, but like we were kind of like rooting for her. She was the youngest of all the Mexican con artists, so it's like we kind of wanted to root for her. Maybe she'd get out of the trap, and eventually she did. But then the evil lady genius person behind it all, she just straight up like took over and then killed Gabrielle. And then like it's like, come on. Eventually it's like, why are you killing your own people? She just kind of turned into like a default James Bond bad guy, and it's like, come on. She's just too much of a default villain. I mean, she literally bloodboarded a child just for spite. That was the only reason why, just to spite Jigsaw. Fuck. But anyway, not only was this evil genius lady just way over the top for no reason, but she didn't even get a good death. All the people that were her pawns in her scheme ended up dying horrible deaths, and she was the only person who didn't get a horrible death. And I get it, like, she, you know, at the end, like, she escaped the toxins and she poked her head out of the hole so she wouldn't, like, suffocate. But, like, and it's kind of implied that, okay, Jigsaw, Amanda, and the kid, they leave, they lock her in the studio the same way they ended Saw 1, and she's just left there to rot. But that's just not good enough, okay? This girl was a crazy psycho, killing her own people, okay? I needed to see her get torn apart limb by limb, okay? Locking her away to rot, Saw 1 ending style, that's just not gonna cut it, okay? We needed her to get fucked up, and she didn't even get hurt. Like, she got like a couple like rashes from the neurotoxins, and she got beat up a couple times by her like fiance motherfucker. I don't even know who that dude was. And that was kind of it. She just kind of got stuck in the hole at the end, and then that was it. They just left her to rot. Whatever, maybe she'll come back in a future movie. I mean, at this point, they're still scheduled to make a couple more movies, but I don't really know how that's possible because canonically, Jigsaw now only has, I believe, 3 months to live. I give this movie a thumbs up. You thought that I was going to rate it? Of course I'm not going to give it a number. I work in fucking production. What do you think? I'm some critic in my bubble somewhere in fucking, I don't know, where do film critics live? And I would never tear apart another filmmaker like that, giving them their artwork a number. Get the fuck out of here. Big thumbs up. Love everyone involved. I love horror movies. Saw is an awesome franchise, one of the most successful horror franchises of all time. So obviously, it's great to see John Kramer back on the big screen. Hope to see you in the next video, and thank you for watching.